Jonathan, thanks for joining us on the eve of the British Round of WorldSBK Championship. How's it going?
It's been going good. Honestly, I started the season much stronger than we anticipated, especially after the struggles and disappointments of last year. Coming out, winning the first race, having a strong round in Aragon, Estoril, Assen as well, although we came together with Toprak in that final race, dropped some points, and then Misano in the previous round was just a bit of a struggle. We weren't quite as competitive as we should be, but looking forward now to Donington this weekend, home round for me, and somewhere I really enjoy and try and get back to winning ways.
I mean, as fans, as neutrals, it's been a really fantastic season to watch. How's it from the seat of your Kawasaki?
It's brilliant to be involved in great battles with Toprak and Alvaro and last lap scraps. You know, people are talking about WorldSBK again, and from the outside, and you miss that sometimes, and I feel it's really helping me step up as well as a rider. You know, I'm enjoying that challenge, and I still think there's plenty left to give. So keeps me coming back, keeps me working hard as well when I'm at home.
It's no secret, you'll be 36 going into next season, and you know, people are talking about you and what's Jonathan Rea going to be doing next year, but there's no talk of is Jonathan going to retire. I mean, it seems like you're still very much at the top of your game.
Yeah, do you know, I sort of had an inkling. In fact, Neil Hodgson was a great friend of mine, and when we lived very close together quite some years ago, and he would always come round and says, I'd say, Neil, I'm done. You know, if I win another championship, I'm done. I'm ready to walk away. And then you sort of get to the end of the season, and I can't imagine your life without motorbikes. It's all I've really known since I've been 5-6 years old on a 50cc motocross bike. So right now I'm working towards securing my future in the WorldSBK Championship, and the retirement things has been pushed to the side because I feel competitive. I'm loving racing. I'm loving still finding the best out of myself, getting the best out of myself, that challenge. So I still think hopefully the best years are ahead.
I mean, loyalty seems like a big part of what you do. I mean, you've worked with Carole Nash now for over 10 years. I think you've been with Kawasaki for about 8 years, and before that with your previous manufacturer. You seem to have this real stability that many other riders don't have. Is that a deliberate part of your career?
It's hard to know. I always feel like every team I've gone to in the past, I've tried to create a home, with the people around or the sponsors on board, and I think loyalty, it goes a long way, especially in a sport that has major triumphs but also has low points as well, and I think that helps keep the band together, if you like. And I can't say a bad word about anyone I've worked with in my career. And with Kawasaki, I found a great family. They gave me the opportunity to win my first World Championship back in 2015, and the people inside the box, what you see on TV on a weekend is the technical side, the competition side, racing. But away from that, you travel with these people. It's a job. There's a lot of stress. You have to take a lot of risk. There's crashes. There's everything. So the pros and cons. It has to be fun as well. And with the people I have in these past years, at Kawasaki, it's been a lot of fun. So it's been easy to continue that on. And the bike's super competitive as well. I think as a base model, the ZX10RR is one of the most competitive bikes in the sport bike market. So yeah, I'm in great hands.
I first remember you coming to sort of prominence in 2005, 2006, and you're part of that sort of golden generation of British riders coming through. I think Cal and Tom Sykes and Liam Cammy and so on. I mean, back then, did you ever foresee that you'd become the greatest?
No. A pipe dream?
Yeah.
Like, of course I always believed in myself. I believed in my ability, especially that class of 06, 07 in BSB, where you had Shaky, Haslam, Crutchlow, Sykes, Camier. It was stacked, and pretty much that whole class year went to World Championship in the following years. I started relatively late compared to all of them. I was probably in my third season of riding bikes when I was on a British Superbike competing against them. So I knew that I had something, a high ability level and a decent talent, but there's so many talented guys in our sport, so many unearthed talents as well because of the lack of opportunity and whatnot. So, I don't come from, a privileged background. My parents had to work really hard just to keep me motocrossing back in the day. So I knew that every opportunity that presented itself to me in sport, I had to make the best out of it, or it could just be over. I faced that a few times in my career with injuries, and you feel like, as a motorbike rider, you feel you're injured and you need to come back fast, otherwise you're out of the shop window. And for me, I had a little bit of stability back in the days with the rookie program, and then onwards when I went to the World Championship, Honda gave me a great opportunity to go there, and I was a Honda rider I think for 6 or 7 years in the World Superbike Championship, and then Kawasaki gave me the opportunity to come to a winning team and manufacture, and it's been incredible since.
It sounds like being a professional motorbike racer at the top of your game, it's not just about riding a bike fast, there's so many more things that you have to be thinking about as a rider.
The easy part is actually sitting on the grid, and I mean it's not the easy part at all, but the journey just to get on the grid is so tough. I just briefly mentioned about being on a 50cc motocross bike and growing up with my parents. That journey to what you get to see on a live on TV on a Sunday is massive. It's marred full of disappointments and upsets, and I think that molds the person as well. The injuries mold the person, triumphs, how to get beat. But I've been lucky. My mum and dad were incredible with me when I was motocrossing, and Dad came from a motorbike background. He was Isle of Man TT racer and was quite a successful rider back home in Northern Ireland in his own right. So he understood quite a lot about how to be, and I think instilled a lot of good morals in me when I first started, and that's definitely helped along the way.
I mean, one thing that has come in during your career is social media, and you've got this great YouTube channel which people should be subscribing to. I mean, it seems to be almost like you don't need to do it, but you seem to really have embraced social media. How important a part is that for you as I guess as a brand? Or
well, social media is huge, and especially if you can control it. Sometimes what we don't get to do is control our own media, and that's both positive and negative, because people write what they want to write, and the more successful you become, then the more things get written about you. But if you can control the narrative and let people an insight into the real person, because a snapshot of the journalist see me on a race weekend is a tiny percent of my life, and that's my professional life. I do think you have to be quite different to be a successful motorbike rider. For me, I've got not a split personality, but a Jekyll and Hyde. But I feel you zip up my leathers on a Saturday, Sunday, and put my helmet on. You become the Spider-Man, the Superman, the Batman, the superhero. But away from that, it's I have the same problems everybody else has in life. I just do the same things? I'm not, my life, I feel, is quite basic. What you see on a Sunday, you might think, back to the Lamborghinis and the fancy this and caviar this. My life's so basic. Back to my little VW van, motocrossing with my friends, and I think the YouTube channels help that a little bit. But social media is cool, but it also has its pitfalls. People can really, when you control it yourself, people can reach out to you, and any controversial moments in your career, it's trying to learn to take that with a pinch of salt. It is hard. I've got 2 kids right now, and I also worry about them and what they'll face on social media in years to come. But it's part of the life we're in, and if I can use it as a good tool for my career, then great.
When you look back on your career, you talked about rivalries there. I mean, do you feel you've had really sort of tough rivalries throughout your career?
I think so. I think the biggest rivalry, my career rival so far, I would say, would be Chaz Davis. We had quite a few years, 3-4 seasons, battling, bar to bar, and there was no love lost. I respected Chaz all along, but we never contacted each other outside of the racetrack or whatnot. That was a cool rivalry because we were different manufacturers as well. Now it's even, in this current day, it's even more heated because whilst I really get on with Top Rack, he's a rival manufacturer, different nationality. Same with Alvaro Bautista, a Spanish guy on a Ducati. It's rivalries are good. You want to beat these guys bad, and they're at a really high level as well. So when you beat them, you feel really good. And when I have a tough weekend, it inspires you to come back and be even better.
And obviously it's been a while since the last World Superbike race, but you've been busy in that time. You've been out on the bike quite a lot. Anything new that you're going to be able to bring to Donington Park this weekend? We're
always evolving. We tested some new chassis components in the previous test in Aragon. Straight from Misano we went there, and then to Suzuka 8 Hours for testing. I mean, we can't really bring much from that bike. It's a completely different package, but it's just ever evolving, stepping up. And Donington's a track where we've gone well in the past. The base our base setup works quite well there. You know, Tom was incredible here when he was with the Kawasaki, and I've managed to win a few races myself now, so just try to put everything together, go into the weekend with a bit of confidence and flow and see what we can do.
I hope so. All the best, good luck, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks very
Cheers.
much.
Thank you.